Shalom, good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, the United States continues to work tirelessly to de-escalate the Israel-Lebanon front as Jerusalem warns of further escalation. Iran and Algeria sign an MOU on cooperation in the oil and gas fields in breach of U.S. sanctions. IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi voices alarming frustration over Iran's nuclear progress. Intense fighting persists in the Gaza Strip, particularly in the southern city of Khan Yunis, where the IDF's 98th Division has arrested dozens of Islamist terror operatives in the Qatari-funded Hamad neighborhood over the course of the past 24 hours alone. Moreover, IDF forces have also eliminated dozens of terror operatives in the vicinity of that same neighborhood and have located large quantities of arms. Meanwhile, in the northern end of the Gaza Strip, the IDF's engineering corps has completed the destruction of the largest located subterranean network that ran near the Erez border crossing and was broad enough to facilitate vehicular traffic. Turning northward were Israeli aircraft downed a suspicious airborne vehicle that penetrated Israeli airspace from Syria. According to the IDF spokesperson's unit, the incident took place in the area of Tel Fares that is situated in the eastern Golan Heights. Separately, on the Lebanese front, hostilities continue to intensify after Hezbollah terror operatives launched anti-tank missiles at farmers working the land adjacent to the border yesterday, regrettably murdering one Indian national yesterday. A barrage of over 20 rockets were fired today at Israel's Western Galilee region. And while thankfully no injuries were reported in the subsequent incidents, the Israeli Air Force struck a series of Hezbollah terror targets in the areas of Bin Jbel, Sultaniya, and Sedikin. Among the targets struck were Hezbollah military infrastructures and a military command and control center used by the terrorist organization. Meanwhile, U.S. Special Envoy Amos Hochstein visited the Israeli Defense Ministry today, where he met Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, during the course of which Jerusalem's top defense official warned the American White House emissary that Hezbollah's aggression is dragging the parties to a dangerous escalation. Prior to his trip to Israel, Hochstein met with Lebanon's Speaker of Parliament, Nabi Berri, a close ally of Hezbollah, as well as other Lebanese elites.
I am mindful that my arrival comes on the heels of a tense few weeks on both sides of the border. Escalation of violence is in no one's interest, and there is no such thing as a limited war. Escalation will not help the Lebanese and Israeli people return home. Escalation will not resolve this crisis. And escalation will certainly not help Lebanon rebuild and advance forward at this critical time in Lebanon's history. But a temporary ceasefire is not enough. Unlimited war is not containable. And the security paradigm along the blue line has to change in order to guarantee everyone's security.
Hochstein further clarified that contrary to Hezbollah's declared intentions, a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip would not entail a ceasefire on the Israel-Lebanon front.
It does not necessarily happen that when you have a ceasefire in Gaza, it just automatically extends. That is why we're here today, to be able to have a conversation and discussion on what the kind of arrangements that could be reached here in Lebanon. It is not an automatic. So we have to ensure what we want to see is a diplomatic solution here on the border, along the blue line, to ensure that there is a cessation of hostilities and that precautions are made so that everybody on both sides of the border, on both sides of the line, can return to their homes safely and securely and have a future free of fear.
It is important to know that while the United States is actively pursuing a diplomatic solution to the Iranian-directed hostilities via its Lebanese proxy Hezbollah against Israel, Iran's Yemeni proxy Ansar Allah, which is dominated by the Houthi tribe, continues to launch daily attacks against maritime shipping in the Red Sea, including both commercial and naval assets.
انتصارا لمظلومية الشعب الفلسطيني وضمن الرد على العدوان الأمريكي البريطاني على بلدنا، نفذت القوات البحرية في القوات المسلحة اليمنية بعون الله تعالى عملية استهداف لسفينة إسرائيلية MS سكاي في البحر العربي، وذلك بعدد من الصواريخ البحرية المناسبة، وكانت الإصابة دقيقة ومباشرة بفضل الله بعد ساعات فقط من تنفيذ عملية نوعية أطلقت خلالها القوة الصاروخية وسلاح الجو المسير عددا من الصواريخ البالستية والطائرات المسيرة على عدد من السفن الحربية الأمريكية المعادية في البحر الأحمر.
The British Maritime Monitoring Authority, UKMTO, confirmed that 2 projectiles had indeed struck the commercial vessel in question. Nevertheless, in contrast to the claim by the so-called Houthis, the ship in question is not Israeli-owned. And while Iranian-directed hostilities against freedom of navigation is seemingly intensifying, limited US and UK strikes against the Houthis have thus far proven ineffective, and European navies are scrambling to the strategic waterway to lend a hand in confronting the threat. Among others, Greece, whose ships sustained a number of direct hits, have launched a vessel to defend the national security interests of the Hellenic Republic.
Πρόκειται μια εξαιρετικά σημαντική αποστολή. Πάτε στην Ερυθρά θάλασσα γιατί αυτό απαιτεί το εθνικό συμφέρον, όχι για να υπερασπίσουμε οτιδήποτε άλλο πέρα από αυτό. Και θα ήθελα επίσης να σας πω ότι η ελληνική κοινωνία έχει στραμμένα τα μάτια της σε εσάς και εύχεται να είστε καλά, γεροί, δυνατοί και να επιστρέψετε ασφαλείς. Επιθέσεις σε εμπορικά πλοία από ομάδες ενόπλων, από πυράβλους, από drones, αποτελούν απειλή κατά της σταθερότητας, της ασφάλειας, αλλά και της παγκόσμιας και ειδικά της ελληνικής οικονομίας.
While Iran continues to be behind separate conflict-ridden areas throughout the Middle East, Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi concluded a state visit to Algeria, where he met with his counterpart Abdelmajid Tebboune. During the course of their meetings, Iran and Algeria had also signed a comprehensive memorandum of understanding on deepening energy cooperation between Tehran and Algiers, particularly in matters which are related to the heavily sanctioned oil and gas industries. Separately, both the Algerian and Iranian presidents praised one another for their respective hatred of Israel and activities to stand by the Islamist Hamas terrorist organization.
وأود في هذا الصدد أن أثمن مواقف القيادة الإيرانية الداعمة للشعب الفلسطيني المظلوم، مساعدته للفلسطينيين ورفضه لممارسات الكيان الصهيوني للإبادة الجماعية المستمرة في غزة في ظل صمت وتواطؤ مخزن من طرف بعض الدول. ولقد اتفقنا في هذا الخصوص على تكثيف التنسيق والتشاور حيال تطورات القضية الفلسطينية. وأود بالمناسبة أن أحيي الموقف الإيراني الداعم لعضوية بلادي في مجلس الأمن الدولي.
Meanwhile, in Vienna, where the International Atomic Energy Agency held its periodic Board of Governors meeting today, IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi once again highlighted his frustration with Iran's non-compliance and deliberate ambiguity in its believed race to attain nuclear weapons. And while the Islamic Republic would like to remain indifferent to the agency's plights, it is the only path forward that does not include a military solution.
And my reports are very clear in this regard. We are not in the place I would like us to be. And when I say us, it's Iran, it's myself, it's all of us here. We are not moving forward, and we must move forward in the clarification of the many aspects that require this clarification from Iran. So I intend to continue these consultations at the highest possible level, if possible, so that we can move this thing forward. In my dialogue with presidents, heads of government, foreign ministers, as you can imagine, the first thing in the agenda that I have with them is the situation in Iran, and I see that they are enormously concerned. So Iran may like or dislike this, but this is what I feel. And here is where I get this unanimous, I would say, unanimous expression that they feel that the only way forward is through cooperation with the IAEA. There's no other peaceful and cooperative solution to this thing.
Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. It is important to highlight that TV7 Israel is a donation-based non-profit ministry with all of our productions available free of charge. Therefore, if you're blessed by our daily updates and would like to help us bear the costs, we would deeply appreciate it if you'd consider making a donation. You can do so by visiting our website www.tv7israelnews.com. Separately, I'd like to encourage you, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. I'm Jonathan Hessen, wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, we'll see you during our upcoming TV7 Israel updates. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.